Welcome back, book talk enthusiasts, to another episode of Dragons and Spaceships, where we shine a spotlight on all of the sci-fi and fantasy books that are taking the platform by a storm. I'm your host, Brandi, and today we are venturing into the dark and captivating world of Godkiller by Hannah Kaner. But before we get into this book, let's take a look at the Realm and Galactic rankings of the top 5 trending books this week. Some of the top 5 sci-fi and fantasy trending books this week are A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, Lost in Time by A.G. Riddle, and The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Now it's time for the Captain's Log, where we bring you insights and stories from our guests or our host monologue. Okay, let's get talking about this book. If you're a fan of gritty fantasy with complex characters and a gripping plot, then you're in for a treat. First, let's go ahead and read the book summary that you can find on Goodreads. Kissen's family was killed by zealots of a fire god. Now she makes a living killing gods and enjoying it. That is until she finds a god that she cannot kill. A god of white lies has somehow bound himself to a young noble, and they are both on the run from unknown assassins. Joined by a delusional knight on a secret quest, they must travel to a ruined city where the last of the wild gods reside to each beg a favor. Pursued by demons and in the midst of a civil war, they will all face a reckoning. Something is rotting at the heart of their world, and only they can be the ones to stop it. This is book 1 in the Fallen Gods trilogy, which I am so excited about that means there's 2 more books to dive into. The second book, being Sunbringer, was released earlier this year, and I am currently reading it and loving it. Godkiller by Hannah Kaner transports us to a world where gods can walk among mortals, and a dangerous game of survival and power unfolds. Let's go ahead and talk about our protagonist. Her name is Kissen. She is a fierce and determined godkiller who became a godkiller after her family was killed by followers of a fire god. As a godkiller, she is tasked with eliminating and hunting down rogue deities. Kissen is a very strong female character who I just love. She is grouchy and a little bit salty, but underneath all of that, she has a heart of gold. She takes no crap from anybody and is driven by a sense of duty. She's missing a leg from a rough childhood, but that doesn't stop her. She can still kick total butt with a prosthetic leg. Her past is marked by tragedy and loss, which fuels her resolve to rid the world of dangerous gods. Her journey is fraught with danger and moral dilemmas, which makes her a character you can't help but root for. So what makes Godkiller such a good read? Let's go ahead and break it down. The world building in this book is nothing short of mesmerizing. Hannah Kaner has created a richly detailed universe where gods are both revered and feared. The lore and history of this world are intricately woven into the story. From ancient temples to bustling marketplaces, every setting is vividly brought to life. In this book, we enter a world where gods are seen as the enemies. They are feared, they're greedy, and they love human sacrifices, which is a cool concept to read compared to classical mythology. So back to our girl Kissen. This story kind of has a little bit of Witcher vibes, which I really loved because I also love Witcher. And our girl Kissen is a god killer, and so she gets paid to go hunt down gods. However, she eventually stumbles upon a god that she cannot kill. She found that the god of white lies has tied himself to the life of a 12-year-old noble girl named Inara. And if she kills this god, that means she will also be killing the young girl, which obviously isn't going to work for her. She finds herself going on a pilgrimage of sorts, trying to untangle the two so she can kill the god and save the girl. They end up kind of going on this pilgrimage of sorts, and they meet some characters along the way, running into a former knight who is now a baker, who becomes an important character in the story. Of course, during this pilgrimage, it's no easy task. They are being haunted by demons. The country is in the midst of a civil war. So they encounter a lot more trouble than they originally thought they would. I won't give any more spoilers than that, though. One of the cool standout elements of Godkiller is the exploration of faith and power. This book dives into the nature of belief and the consequences of the divine influence in the mortal realm. The supporting characters in this book are equally as fascinating as our main characters. They provide so much more depth and unique perspectives and their own struggles to really enhance this story even further. The relationships and interactions between characters are layered and complex, contributing to the book's emotional intensity. Hannah Kaner's writing style is also both lyrical and gritty. The action scenes are thrilling and fast-paced, and they keep you on the edge of your seat. Also, while the love in this book is more of a slow burn, it is still just, it's very captivating, and you want to keep going with it and listening to it and rooting for them. And it's really beautiful. The emotional stakes in Godkiller are very high. Kaner does not shy away from exploring the darker sides of humanity and divinity, but she also highlights moments of hope and resilience. It's honestly a roller coaster of emotions that will leave you deeply invested in the character's fates. So should you read Godkiller by Hannah Kaner? Absolutely. So if you are a fan of slow burn, mythology, and dark fantasy that combines intricate world building, complex characters, and a gripping plot, this book is a must read. It's a powerful and immersive tale that will honestly keep you hooked from start to finish. And like I said earlier, I am currently reading Sunbringer, which is the second installment in this trilogy, and I am just loving it. And I can't wait to talk about that one as well, but I have to finish it first. But before we go, we have two other segments to go over. First, we have the Dragon's Roar. In today's Dragon Roar, we are delving into the latest drama or news in the industry. If you are a fan of the Imperium series by Rebecca Jaros at all, then you probably have seen that she just recently released the new cover art for her third book in the installment called Onyx Storm. It'll be released January 21st, 2025. This obviously was really big in book talk this week because Forthcoming is such a loved book. It's gotten me all excited again for this book series, and I can't wait to keep continuing on to that story. Next, we have the Sorcerer's Scrolls, where we look at some forthcoming fables and quests that you can embark on soon. Today, we're going to highlight a book called The Great Hemisphere by Matteo Schiappa. This book came out July 9th of this year, and here's a little summary for you. From the award-winning and best-selling author of Black Buck, a speculative novel about a young woman invisible by birth and regulated to second-class citizenship who sets off on a mission to find her older brother, whom she had presumed dead, but who is now the primary suspect in a high-profile political murder. As I was looking through all the different books, I saw that one. I'm like, oh, that sounds intriguing to me. So if you need a new book this summer, then go ahead and check out The Great Hemisphere. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the realms and the starships. Have you read Godkiller? If so, drop a comment and tell us what you thought about it, because we would love to hear your thoughts about it as well. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on social media for more book recommendations and engaging book reviews. Until next time, keep exploring the fantastical and futuristic, and may your TBR pile never stop growing.